Hi everyone, this is the tutorial for As Good As It Gets. My name is Billy from Piano and Pies. Let's get stuck straight in. So to play this song the easiest, we're going to need a capo on the first fret. If you're in need of a capo, there is a link to one in the description below, so feel free to check that out. However, digging in with the first verse, so it starts off straight away in the verse, no introduction needed, and the first chord we need is an E minor chord, which is an open E string, 2-2 on the A and D strings. This is in reference to the capo. Then we have 0 on the remaining strings. That's E minor. The next chord is what we call a G/F sharp. Sounds a bit strange, but it's going to be what you call a passing chord, which gets us to the next chord. But what we have is a 2 on the E string. We then have a 0 on the A, 0, 0, 0 on the next 3 strings, and then 3 on the top string. So it goes from E minor to G/F sharp to a G major chord, which is 3 on the E string, 2 on the A, 0, 0, 0, and a 3 on the high E string. If you are used to playing the G major with your ring finger on fret 3 of the B string, feel free to include it. It makes very little difference to the overall sound. So you'll go with whatever you think sounds best, or whatever feels best with your fingers. So after those 3 chords, we have 3 more chords needed. We'll go through those first before we talk about the strumming and structure. We have C major. C major is 3 on the A string, 2 on the D, an open G, 1 on the B, and an open E string. We then have yet another chord for this verse. We have C/B, which is 2 on the A string, 0, 0, 1 on the B, and an open E. And then we have a D/F sharp. Lots of slash chords in this song, which is a regular D major, if you know that one, which is an open D, 2 on the G, 3 on the B, and 2 on the high E string. But your thumb's going to creep over the top for what you call an F sharp note, which is 2 on the top string. Now, that's a lot of chords. There is one more that we need for this verse, and that is the C major shape up 2 frets. It's a type of D major chord that is very commonly used in kind of acoustic music, and we're going to be using that in the verse as well. So, those are the chords that we need. So, those are the chords we need for the verse. Now let's talk about how we play it. And the first verse is relatively quiet and relaxed, so there's a bit of palm muting going on, which basically means this part of your hand resting on the strings just a little bit to get a muted type of sound. And what we have is a quick change from E minor to the G/F sharp. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. We then have a full bar of G major. And what I'm doing is playing down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up. That's pretty full on, so let me do that slowly. Down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up. So up to now we have we then repeat the same idea for the C, C/B, and the D with the F sharp in the bass. We then basically repeat it, but replace the D/F sharp with that chord. Here's an example. So you can see there, I was playing that new version of D without that one included. So, there are lots of different parts to this song. The second verse, which is directly after what we've just done, actually does repeat. But we then get to a chorus, and the chorus is a little bit different. And it's worth mentioning that if you do want the chord chart for this, which has every chord in the full structure of the song, as well as a chord and lyric matchup, so you know what chord goes with what lyrics. So let's say you're singing with the track, or maybe you just want to play along the track and know exactly how it all fits together, head on over to Patreon. There is a link in the description, and you get everything wrote out professionally. And for the cost of a coffee, you get access to this song, as well as a bunch of other songs, roughly 360 at this point, of the latest releases, including a few Mitski songs who's actually on this track as well. So yeah, feel free to check that out. But what we're going to do now is delve into the chorus. Now the chorus has 3 chords to it. The first chord is a C major 7. Now we've already played C major. If you get rid of this finger, we get C major 7. So that's our first chord. The next chord is an E minor chord, which we've already heard. And then we have that chord there, which is our D chord, C shape, but 2 frets higher. And we're basically going to be looping around those chords a bunch of times like this. So you can see I was having a bar of C, major 7, 2, 3, 4, E for 2, D for 2. And looking over to my note, we repeat that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times in a row for the chorus. Now, if you're not too happy with that D chord, maybe that's a bit of a stretch to get to, then feel free to substitute it with a bog standard D major chord. It'll still sound great, but if you want the full experience of the actual notes of the song, we want to aim for that one. Now, before we get to the second verse, there is a post-chorus, which changes things yet again. We have a G major chord, C major, going up to the D chord for a bar, and then we're straight in with that third verse. Speaking of which, it is exactly the same as verses 1 and 2, so we're just going to skip over that. And then looking over to my notes, we have another chorus, which is almost the same as the first chorus, but what happens is, after you've played it through 5 times, what we're going to do is play one more round of C major 7, before we get to the bridge section. Now the bridge section changes things yet again. In fact, there's a whole bunch of new chords, so they change key for this. So yeah, it might be worth checking out that link on Patreon so you get everything right out. Saves you from trying to memorize it, because if you're anything like me, I forget everything. So yeah, it's nice having notes to one side so I can just jam along and not worry about making a mistake. Anyway, digging in with the bridge, we have a G minor chord, which is going to have to be a bar chord, which is 3 on the top string. Again, this is in reference to the capo. 3, 5, 5, and then 3 on the remaining strings. And what we do is play that for 2 beats. Going to an F major chord, you can either play the bar chord version or the open version, which is what I'm going to play. We then have an E flat major chord, which is technically up here on fret 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up from the capo, which is fret 6 on the guitar, and we play a major bar chord shape. So up to now we have we then take that shape down to the first fret up from the capo. We then play a D major chord and a G major chord. Now that is a ton of different chords, including the likes of G minor and G major, all in the same chord progression. So yeah, it might be worth checking out those chords, or maybe trying to write them down somehow. However, the good news is, after you've played through that once, we have an outro. And the outro is just similar to the kind of start of the song, kind of, which is E minor, G/F sharp, and then C major 7. We repeat that 4 times. I'll do it twice around just so you can see what it sounds like without me talking over the top of it. Do that 4 times and you've got to the end of the song. So that's everything you need to get through the full song. If you did find it useful, please do like and subscribe. It really helps grow the channel and expose my videos to help more people learn guitar. Also, if you are interested in getting the extra material over on Patreon, links are in the description for that. I'd also like to say thanks to the people on the screen who are my active patrons. So the moment this video goes live, they will get access to that content straight away. So thanks to them for their support, thanks to you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.